Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Shri 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 Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. For the past few days, we have been going through the narrative of a spiritual seeker. The first lesson we get from that is that when we are earnest about it, he came from abroad, he was absolutely new to the culture of this great land, but because of his sincerity, earnestness, commitment, how he was drawn to an enlightened sage, and how in a most simple language, how he has explained that what are the prerequisites that will enable us to know our real source. Control of the mind is necessary for that. For controlling the mind, everything that we do with Shraddha, with total care, attentiveness, and always, throughout the narrative, Ratnam, great Mahatma, whom he called Ratnam, he always insisted that as spiritual aspirants we should do like as spiritual aspirants. That means there has to be some self-denial. Otherwise the mind space we see will be full of objects which we treat it as an object of enjoyment. Actually, objects are not bad. Objects are his manifestation, but that we don't know. We at the moment treat all objects as something for us to indulge in, because we feel it gives us joy. But in that narrative you will find, by trying to lead a simple life, the rest of the space is given for God and God only. Again the doubt will come to us. How are we to keep up this God remembrance? We all would like to have, We all would like to have. Because our master kept on telling, HCR, his constant remembrance. That is how he struggled, he attained, and it stayed with him, which expressed in the form of bliss. Now, how are we ordinary people, immersed in various activities, having our own thinking about God, world, relationship, enjoyment, suffering. We have a definition. How are we to do that? One simple way is to feel grateful for all that He has provided. This could be another dimension. Dr. Bhujangi Shetty in his book, The Power of Love, says, everything from this magnificent body to every breath of air that we breathe is all from Creator. Vinobaji has written commentary on Bhagavad Gita under the title Talks on the Gita. For the first few days we were involved in making a summary of his entire book. It was a wonderful sadhana. So when we reach the 18th chapter, the first and the last should be very inspiring, because that is the take-home message. Even if we forget the whole thing, there should be a take-home message. So he says in that last page, reduce yourself to zero. There is only the Lord, the Lord, Lord. That is the central message. All our spiritual activities, the last para, how many times we read, but still the sweetness is there. The Lord says, having said all this, the Lord then asks Arjuna, have you listened to all this carefully? Now ponder over it fully, then do what you think right. Yathechasi tatha. I have given you all this, but now it's up to you to reflect and do it. This is the unique Lord that magnanimously gave complete freedom to Arjuna. This is the unique feature of the Gita. But then compassion welled up in him. He took back that freedom. He told Arjuna, give up your will, your sadhana, give up everything, come to me, take refuge in me. What this means is that you should not have any independent self-will. You should do what He wills you to do. Let His will prevail. With full freedom, you should feel that you need have no freedom. Reduce yourself to zero. Let there be the Lord and the Lord alone in the universe. So if I have to reduce myself to zero, which my sense of individuality will never agree totally, because it has got a story, that it has done this, it has done that. So that is why here he says, everything from this magnificent body to every breath of air that we breathe is all from Creator. Totally free, unconditionally provided to us by Him. If we could only realize this and appreciate it in our daily life, then every moment of our life would be filled with nothing but gratitude. What is gratitude? We may say, thank you. No, that is not that. A state of being with Him. That is called gratitude. Every morsel we eat, every drop we drink, every little help that we receive from a fellow being, we shall take it as provided by Him. It is only when we feel that we must get a particular thing as our birthright, or since we have paid for it, we get upset and feel cheated. If we were to accept them as they really are, then we would ever be grateful for everything and to everyone, for He Himself has come to us in the form of our servant, our driver, watchman, gardener, neighbor, relative, friend, child, or spouse. In one of the songs, a prayer, beautiful. He said, you are the song And you make me an instrument to sing you the song. You are the name. You make me an instrument to chant your name. Every cell of my body is permeated with you and you only. Otherwise I cannot. Every grain of rice or food I eat, you have already tasted and made it for me. Even when I don't get sleep in the night, you come as a friend and make me to sleep. Even when I need some counsel, without making a feeling that you are a guru, you are a higher person than me, without doing that, you simply come and give me the guidance from within. Without feeling any superiority over me. And when I die, when everybody leaves, you are the only relation. Parameka Bandhu. So like that, such sort of prayer will definitely enable us to assimilate the idea. It's a wonderful song, composed by a great devotee and sung by another great person. These will help us, It is not merely we are hearing So we should, day first day we were reading Nisargadatta Maharaj, how we grew up. And now we arrogate, we are so and so. But he clearly points out, in the mother's womb, when you were only a chemical, how everything was brought in there. The body. That particular word is very, 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 very touching. What are the essentials to that which you consider as you? Obviously this body. But this body that is now in its prime, healthy, strong, was once only a little drop or a speck of a chemical matter when conception took place in your mother's womb. Think, did you do anything to be conceived? Did you want to be conceived? Were you consulted? Further, and this is what is it that was latent in the tiny speck of matter that caused it to grow into a fully developed baby with blood, flesh, marrow, bones, first in your mother's womb and thereafter in this world, until it is now sitting before me and discussing philosophy. The body has, during its growth, assumed various images which you have considered to be you at different times, but no single image has remained with you constantly. Yet there is something which has indeed remained without any change. So like that, then suddenly we remember, what have we done? How can we arrogate? When Vinobaji says, this is the clarion call of the Lord Krishna. Clarion call of Lord Krishna to all of us. These 700 stanzas, suppose you squeeze in 2 words, Vinobaji has said, reduce yourself to 0, and there is only the Lord, the Lord, the Lord in the universe. So, to make our ideal clear, whether I do Ramnam, whether I do a Satsang, whether I do Swadhyay, whether I do Nishkam Seva, whether I do perfection whether I bring in perfection in everything that I do, Shraddha in everything is okay, only to reduce myself to 0. Why? Because I have not brought anything. Everything has been provided by the great provider. I become aware of that. So that is why this first para is very, very interesting. Everything, from this magnificent body to every breath of air that we breathe, is all from the Creator. Totally free. Unconditionally provided to us by Him. If we could realize it and appreciate in our daily life, then every moment of our life will be filled with nothing but gratitude, which is the state of being with Him. No? The moment we say we are grateful to Him, the closeness has started. Samipyam and Sannidhyam. No? The moment I remember Him, His Sannidhyam, His presence is felt. Every morsel we eat, every drop we drink, every little help that we receive from a fellow being, we should take it as provided by Him. When we are in trouble or depressed, we need not go to any place or person for help. Help is at hand. It is closer to us than we could ever imagine, for it is within us. Whenever there is a problem, there is not only something to do, but also to know and learn, for there is a hidden opportunity in each crisis. Think back a few years, when we were just 2 cells old, still within our mother's womb. Who or what protected us? We could have been drowned by a drop of water. Who was it that guarded us and made us into this mighty human being? Have faith in that force. Have faith in that force within that helped us, whether we like it or not, whether we are aware of it or not, whether we accept it or not, for we are the loving child of this mighty, almighty force. We should count our blessings and name them one by one whenever our mind is free. A grateful heart is always dear to God. Thank God we have 2 eyes to see, 2 ears to hear, 2 legs to walk on, and a tongue to talk. We take everything as granted, We are busy looking at outside. We are busy in evaluating. We are busy in putting tags, labels. But for a moment, are we looking at ourselves? Thank God that we have 2 eyes to see, 2 ears to hear, 2 legs to walk on, and a tongue to talk. Thank God that we have a memory that can remember alphabets and put them together to read words. If we start to think about all the good things we possess, the list will never end. A lifetime is not sufficient to thank the Lord for all His goodness bestowed upon us. Realize that the millions and millions of coordinated activities that are going on inside us are not by accident. It is the handiwork of the Almighty. Acknowledge it, appreciate it, be grateful. Don't ever take anything for granted. In our busy days, busy time, it may not be possible. But whenever we get time and lead, suppose you come to ashram, free from all routine. Here the challenges are very, very limited. So we get a lot of time. We don't mean Anandashram only, any place. We can, suppose you go to a calm and quiet place, spend some time. Where we try to bring all these things. And very often we suppose we do it often, then slowly its impact will remain, even when we are busy with activities. No doubt the teacher or the texted taught us the alphabets. A for apple, like that, no? But some intelligence is there in us, to remember all these, the conjugation of verb, and then to enable us to bring out sentences, how the feelings are conveyed through language. Who gave us this alphabet? Who gave us this intelligence? That's why he said, don't ever take anything for granted. We are again reading and reading because ultimately God says, we should reduce ourselves to zero. Self-effacement. When we hear the word self-effacement, it's a tall order, very difficult. But when we think about this, what all the great provider has provided us, has been providing us till this moment. Suppose we pause for a moment and then think. Probably we are moving towards the reducing to zero. Before drinking or eating anything, think about it. Just imagine all what must have taken place and all those who must have been involved in providing us this drink or food. With a little agricultural background, it will be easy for us to understand. This time in ashram, a small portion, we have used it for cultivating paddy. We got the paddy seeds. The paddy seed was in our room, okay? By itself, it will not germinate. Then the area was made ready through tiller, and so many people manually also. And before that, the seed was soaked in water and then kept. In 5-6 days, it sprouted. And when it sprouted, it was sown. After the sowing, we waited for another about 15-20 days. It became a seedling. Then the rest of the areas were prepared for it. Then it was transplanted. Then proper watering. Whenever there is shortage of rain or something like that, immediately we have to go. Suppose it develops some attack from insects, we only use organic. So we apply lime or something like that. Now slowly, it's growing. In another 15-20 days or 1 month's time, you will be able to harvest it. Crushing. Then we get paddy, manifold, And then it has to be dried. Then it has to be taken to the mill where the husk will be removed and then become rice. If you want raw rice, okay. If you want boiled rice, and then we keep it here. And this is what he says. How many people, when I take a morsel of food, how many people have contributed right from the stage of collecting the seeds up to when it comes to our dining table. Just imagine all what must have taken place and all those who must have been involved in providing us the drink and food. The earth that grew it, the water and the sun, without which it would not have survived. The farmer, the vendor, the cook, all have paid their part. But we in our mighty ego think that we have paid for it and it is our right not only to have it but also to waste it. Always accept it as a gift from all concerned. Mentally thank them all. For gratitude is the attitude that makes one humble. Ultimately we have to reduce, So whenever we are given, it may not be possible for us to remember to have this approach throughout our waking time. Agreed. So how do we make a start? Whenever we get an opportunity, and whatever is before us, a glass, a pen, a table, a chair. That is enough, We don't have to go anywhere for that. God has come in the form of an object. The only thing is when our drishtigon, when our perspective is on that basis, we try to go to its source. In the 10th or 11th chapter, he says that, I am the source, Prabhava, from which everything has come. So if ever we need help, there is no point in going out in search of it, for there is no person or place better than the one within us. Doing so would be like being a fish going in search of water. Our inner intelligence makes us do the right acts. Can't it provide us with our basic needs? The only thing is that we must be tuned or in alignment with it. Once in that position, it is like hopping onto a train. There is no point in carrying our luggage on our head once we have boarded the train. We have to simply unload all our troubles down from our head and enjoy the journey. While sailing a small boat, we are tossed and turned in by the small waves, but once inside a big ship, though we may not be able to avoid the waves, they cannot disturb us. So also in life. When we are one with Him, though the waves like the ups and downs of life are present, they hardly affect us. So through Nama chanting, Papa is gently making us, you have been chanting Nama, but have you been able to feel His presence? It is for that very purpose that you are chanting. The problem is we seem to know it. There seems to be nothing new about what we have either heard or read it somewhere. Knowing is not doing. Doing is doing. We have to put them into practice before it can work for us. Once we taste the sweet success of practicing it, we never lack back. Masters may look like ordinary men from outside, but they are giants within. It may take some time, but we must not grow impatient. It is better to let a rosebud blossom into a beautiful flower naturally with time than to force it to open immediately into an artificial one. A realized soul is a person who has realized that he is God. So when we accept and totally have faith in Him, who is not out there but in here, then we become a God, a realized person. The very purpose of our existence is this. So today's message he gives us this, reduce yourself to zero. With that he closes the talks on Gita. Reduce yourself to zero. Let there be the Lord and the Lord alone in the universe. Now there is nothing but thou alone, thou alone. So now everything is clear for us now. So many were the preparatory steps. But while trying to practice the preparatory steps prescribed by Mahatmas, we should not lose sight of the goal to be achieved. And the goal is not that we are repeating the word. We honestly feel that everything is a gift from Him. The sense of individuality is a gift from Him. And the moment I accept it as a gift, then I enjoy your companionship. But if I don't accept it as a gift and treat myself as myself, then all the appendages are there. At times up, at times down. And mostly, very rarely we are free from downs. We cannot change the ups and downs, but our approach towards up and down gets changed. As we were sharing the other day, during the centenary year of Pujya Papa's sannyas centenary, Pujya Papa's instrument. He left everything on 27th December 1922. So 2022, 27th December happens to be the centenary year. So during this 1 year, we are trying to understand this, how to reduce myself. There are so many anecdotes. In Quest of God is a storehouse of anecdotes. There is no theory there, no philosophy there. Philosophy is there. But first you will see only anecdotes. But deep down within there is philosophy. And every time the subservience to the higher power is always trusted by him. So we try to ponder deeply on this in quest of God with a clear-cut idea that I must reduce myself to zero. And it is only the Lord and Lord alone in the universe. This is something, why he made us to do that? Why he is asking us to do that? What is the message throughout, Papa gives in quest of God? Have we ever found out where he asserts that it should be done like that? Every time he finds it positive, positive, positive only. All ups, all downs are made ups only, So there is no down there. Let us not get stuck with the anecdote. We are trying to dig deep and find out what is the message he gives. That will help me to reduce my assertion, me as an individual entity, as an assertion. But today we have to keep on, and Dr. Bhujanga Shetty clearly says everything, right from the air, without which we will not survive, It has been provided to us through Mother Nature, equally to everybody, unconditionally. Whether I recognize the air or not, whether I condemn the air, whether I insult the air, still the air comes to me, unconditional. That is enough, Without air, we know we cannot survive. So we are praying now to Papa who is seated within us. You have brought everything very clear to us in a tangible, palpable form. Not at all talk, where we have to break our head to understand. Please allow me to somehow erase this asserting ego in me, so that I will become aware of the bounteous gifts God has been giving to me, right from the moment I felt that I am an individual. It should be well rooted, it should be made very clear to us. This is the purpose, this is the purpose, this is the purpose. To become aware of these truths, it is not, a dictum or a dogma, or even we will say it is not even a faith, it's a reality, When you see a grain of paddy, rice, when you see a fruit, when you see a vegetable, and nowadays Google Baba provides everything, Suppose you want to know something about a vegetable or a herb, it gives you all the details. There are varieties, Yesterday when we went to Ayodhya, one of our friends have taken this Ramicham. It's called, there's an English word for it. You forgot. The roots are to be taken, cleaned. Okay? Then you put in the boiling water, boil it. the aroma. And we have been told, during summer season, we used to take it to cool down. We don't know, no. Now, when we grow it here, and when we see that, there are so many plants in that plot, but each one is distinct, unique. And yesterday we prepared that water and we drank. Beautiful, beautiful. Then we think, what all you have provided, varieties. So if we keep on dwelling on it, probably to a very great extent we will be able to erase the thickness of the me and mine, the asserting ego in us. So that ultimately we will reach the stage where we will be able to reduce ourselves to zero and accept everything as Lord and Lord only. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.